come off such a big high from that game earlier in the week. Just what's the message to your team the remainder of the week?
I think it's pretty consistent. It's on to the next one, and especially it's the last game of the regular season, and it's March, and all the stuff that we talk about all the time. But our group has been fairly consistent in their approach. We had Tuesday off. We had a really short kind of different kind of practice on Wednesday to change it up, and then today we'll start on West Virginia. But really, nothing different. I think they're like everyone else. They see all the tournaments starting, and everyone's talking a lot about the Big 12 tournament and all that stuff. So they're doing what they normally do, which is good, and hopefully we're just ready to finish this the right way.
I know I asked you this after the game the other night, but given that there's still a path, is it really exciting going into this last weekend, knowing so much is still at stake?
Yeah,
Do you talk to them?
No, we really don't. I mean, they know, obviously, but I think the biggest thing for us is, you sit there and you're like, all right, you're trying to do the things that we've talked about all the time is, get another sweep and stay, consistent in what we're doing for the postseason and try and win 25 games and try and all the stuff that we talk about. It really hasn't done anything. It's not anything specific to the Big 12 stuff, but for our team, it's just mainly getting ready for another road game, and we've talked all along. When we came back, we had 3 weeks to finish. We had 6 games, and now we're at that final point. So I'd be shocked if we're not ready to play. West Virginia's played really well. They've won their last 3. Another really physical, defensive-minded team that can really rebound it. So we're gonna have to play. We're gonna have to play really, really well, but. It's just one of those games in March that you expect to have to play.
How would you describe that physicality that they have, that, and obviously like Texas and Baylor seem like they're on a different level, but how would you describe that physicality and why it can be difficult at times for you?
No, I think it's a combination of size. That's always an issue. You can't combat size in the women's game, I think, as easy as you can in the men's game sometimes. And then the physicality on the perimeter, and I think what happens is, as the season goes on, they call less fouls, and you just have to deal with it. And it's not our kids' fault, it's my fault. I mean, that's not how we coach, that's not how we play, that's not what we recruit to. And we've got to do a better job. I've got to do a better job of figuring out a way to do it. But it's just, you just got to play through it a little bit more. You got to accept and receive contact rather than avoid it. And we've got to do a better job of coaching that. And certainly, we're going to have to do a better job if we're going to have any success on Saturday.
Well, you talk frequently this season, even when I don't think you guys had lost, that stuff's going to happen. And you have what happened earlier this week, but is West Virginia, I mean, you want these challenges late in the season, right? As you go into a tournament. And you got a lot to learn from that game, and then probably the toughest road trip when you factor in travel and everything at time and everything else to close it off.
Yeah, you do. And I think now you're at a stage where, however many games you have left in the season, I mean, it could be 3, it could be 10. But every game now is there's not there were any gimmies anyway, but West Virginia's playing really, really well, and then after that, you're probably playing whomever you play is going to be in the NCAA tournament or hopefully an NCAA tournament game. So everyone knows that in March, and it's a good feeling that you're playing those kind of games, and we're not just playing out the string. So hopefully we'll be ready.
I know you've talked a lot about Lexi's defense, but she was such a good defender in high school. When she got here, was she a step ahead of most kids? Yeah. She was ahead because
I think she was ahead because she really wanted to do it and embraced it. And the other thing is she was that way in high school. Her dad coached her really hard to be a good two-way player, which I always find interesting. I don't know why people aren't all two-way players, but that's not the way it works anymore. But so I think that, and I think people just don't recognize enough that she's long, she's athletic, she's tough. She can get she's got all the things that you want in a good defender. But she came in here a lot more ready to play defense at a Big 12 level than maybe any kid we've ever had.
Her dad kind of made a joke to me about like she's, this small little ginger. Is she a little deceiving?
Oh,
when
yeah.
she steps on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, you look at her and you're like, oh, there's this nice, cute little skinny little kid, and then all of a sudden, she gets up into you, and she's just got a little edge to her, and she likes it. I mean, she likes that. She likes to be that kind of person. She wants the responsibility. She enjoys everything about it. I mean, she's jumped center for us a couple times. So she's just got that little bit of it factor that a lot of kids you wish they had, but most of them don't have it, or don't want to have it, or don't want to work to get it. She's got it, and she's used it to her advantage, and it's really obviously helped our team and helped our team achieve at a pretty high level.
How early into her career, her freshman year, did you start putting heavy responsibilities?
Probably not as early as we should have. I think you're so worried about a kid coming in as a freshman, and in college, there's so much of it. I mean, there is a shot clock, so you got to score. And I think last year, because of COVID and we couldn't do individual workouts, I made the choice that probably we were a 75% offensive team in practice. And so she probably didn't get the defensive work she wanted or could have absorbed, and that wasn't her fault, that was my fault. But we just felt like we didn't, you didn't have the time, you couldn't do the things you normally do, so it's like, all right, how do you get ready to play? When you get ready to play, for us was, you got to score, you got to be offensive minded, we have young guards, we didn't know exactly how Emily and Lex would translate from the get-go, and so yeah, but this year it was immediate, and she was ready to go.
You talk a lot about next 40 minutes. How hard is that to do when you know what's ahead with the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament?
I don't think it's really that hard. I mean, it isn't for me. I think the one thing that probably it makes it a little harder this time of year is that's what all you guys talk about. is the big
media.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, I meant that in a nice way, not in a bad way. No, I don't blame you guys. It's not your fault. We can't. We do what we do, but no, I think it's just when everyone's like the calendar's March. It's like. It's like a little kid, like my grandkids, like it's going to be Christmas, and my grandkids, we're taking our grandkids to Disney, and they think it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be a month, and so I think, but it's just this whole, it's March, and we're one of the unique leagues where we're playing regular season games in March. I mean, most conference tournaments on the women's side are being played this week, so March to them is conference tournament time. March to us is you got to finish the regular season, so. There's a little bit of a gap there, but it's still cool to think about Kansas City. I think we all do, and we should be. It's going to be a great event.
If you guys do end up winning Saturday, and I know this looking ahead, what every coach absolutely hates to do, but do you find yourself, have you thought about watching Sunday's game at home, Baylor game, knowing what could be at stake?
Yeah, I don't know. It's fun to think about. It's fun to look ahead and not in a, you're not obsessing about it. Obviously, that's not what we do. But you can't ignore it. I mean, it's going to happen, and you just want to go down there and play right and play and stay there as long as you can, and hopefully everything can go together. And it's like someone asked me the other day, said, do you want to play Baylor again? And my probably stupid answer was, yeah, because if we do, we're probably playing them in the Big 12 championship game. So I don't know why, I understand the question, but I just hope that can happen. But there's a lot of work to do, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Is it impossible to overstate how much having to bring Lexi out of that game with the 2 fouls affects things? Because, I mean, she can defend the post with her hands and all of that.
No, I mean, look, I'm not making excuses for anything. We got our butt kicked, and I didn't do my job. That's how it has to start. But we have to make shots, and we cannot get in foul trouble. And when you're your best defender on your bench, your all-time leading scorer on your bench. You know, we're just not good enough for that. It's not anyone's fault. It happened, and unfortunately for us, it all happened at the same time. But certainly and I don't know that any team can overcome that, but certainly you're not going to overcome it against a team of Baylor's caliber. No way. No way.
I feel like I've asked this question several times, but Nye, how she's progressed. Seems like in one person she gives you so many different things that no one else on your team has. How
Absolutely.
much of an X factor is she for you?
No, Nye is just becoming, you know, first of all, it was the post players were evolving a little bit and giving us that bullpen guy by committee kind of feel. But now it's Nye's turn. I mean, she's done a lot of things. We've played her at the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, and she's very bright. She's not a kid that, you know, it's like, sure, tell me. Like I told you the other day, I said, you better get ready for this, this, and this. And she just looked at me like, okay, yeah, fine. Just tell me what to do. But it started at Tech when Ash got in foul trouble, and it really hasn't gone backwards. I mean, she's done a lot of really good things and really been a great asset, and it's fun to see her feeling even more comfortable as we get to this time of year.